I still remember the cold wind brushing against my face as I stood outside my own house, a small suitcase in my hand, while my son and his wife slammed the door behind me. At 72 years old, I never thought I'd hear the words, "Dad, you can't stay here anymore. You're a burden." Those words cut deeper than any knife. I had given my entire life to raising my son, providing for him, and even supporting him through his struggles. And now, I was on the streets, discarded like trash. But little did they know, just 3 days later, they would come crawling back, full of regret. I had been living with my son, Adam, and his wife, Lisa, for nearly a year. My wife, God rest her soul, had passed away, and the house we shared felt unbearably empty. Adam had offered me a room in his home, saying, "Don't worry, Dad, we'll take care of you." At first, everything seemed fine, but slowly, Lisa's smiles turned into cold stares. She began making little remarks about how I was too slow, or how my presence was too much. Adam never defended me. Instead, he stayed silent, as if ashamed of me. Then came the breaking point. One evening, while I was setting the table, Lisa snapped, "Why are you still here? You eat our food, take up space, and contribute nothing. You're an old man, not a guest." "It's time you left." Adam stood there, his head lowered. I expected him to protest, to tell her she was wrong. Instead, he muttered, "Dad, maybe it's better if you find somewhere else." I froze, my own son turning me away. That night, they packed my things into a single suitcase, my clothes, a few books, and some framed photographs of my wife. Everything else, decades of memories, was thrown into garbage bags. "Good luck, Dad," Adam said flatly, avoiding my eyes. I wanted to scream, to remind him of the nights I stayed awake to pay his school fees, the mornings I walked miles to work just so he could have a better life. But my voice failed me. So, I left. I wandered through the city, unsure where to go. No close relatives, no friends nearby, just me, my aching bones, and the bitter taste of betrayal. That first night, I slept on a park bench, clutching my suitcase like it was all I had left of my dignity. On the second day, as I sat shivering in the park, an old friend spotted me. George, a man I hadn't seen in years. "John, is that you? What on earth are you doing here?" he asked. I hesitated, ashamed to admit the truth. But when the words spilled out, George's eyes darkened with anger. "They threw you out? After everything you've done? Unbelievable." I beat you. He insisted I come stay with him, at least until I figured things out. His house was small but warm, and for the first time in days, I slept on a bed instead of a bench. As I lay there, I realized something. Maybe this betrayal wasn't the end of me. Maybe it was the beginning of something else. You see, years ago, I had made an investment. After retiring, I sold a piece of land my wife and I had bought cheaply decades earlier. I never told Adam about it, because I didn't want him to depend on me financially. That land sale had turned into a fortune, a bank account with enough to live comfortably for the rest of my days. But here's the twist. Adam and Lisa thought I was broke. They thought I had nothing, which is why they so easily discarded me. And I let them believe it. On the third day, I sat in George's living room when the doorbell rang. George opened it, and to my surprise, it was Adam. His face looked pale, his eyes restless. "Dad, please, come back home," he stammered. I stared at him, saying nothing. He continued, "Lisa and we made a mistake. We shouldn't have treated you that way. We regret it." I tilted my head. "Why the sudden change of heart?" He hesitated, but then the truth came out. Lisa's parents had visited the house, asking about me. When they learned I was thrown out, they were furious, shaming Lisa and Adam for their cruelty. Word had also spread among neighbors, and the whispers had already begun. In just 3 days, their reputation had collapsed. I looked my son straight in the eye. "You didn't come here because you missed me, Adam. You came because you're embarrassed. Because people judged you. That's not regret. That's shame." He lowered his head. I stood tall, surprising even myself. When you threw me out, you showed me exactly what I mean to you. I may have given you life, but that doesn't mean you own mine. I don't need your pity or your house." His lips trembled. "Dad, please, don't say that." But I meant it. That very week, I met with my lawyer and made a decision. All of my wealth, the bank accounts, the investments, the land I still owned, I rewrote my will. Not a single penny would go to Adam or Lisa. Instead, I donated a large portion to charities that supported abandoned seniors, and the rest I entrusted to George, who had shown me kindness when my own blood had turned me away. When Adam eventually discovered the truth, his face turned ghostly pale. He realized he had thrown away not just his father, but the future he thought was guaranteed. It's been months since that day. I live comfortably now, surrounded by people who value me, not for what I can give, but for who I am. As for Adam and Lisa, they tried reaching out again, but I no longer answer. 'Cause here's what I learned. Family isn't always about blood. Sometimes family is found in the kindness of strangers and friends. And sometimes losing those who betray you is the greatest blessing of all. And I'll never forget the night they kicked me out, because it was also the night I discovered my true worth.